Yes, guys. So I was talking about that how the same kind of situation is happening. I have taken these two horoscopes, right, of Indian horoscopes. I mean, in which the transit of the planets at the time of Bhopal tragedy I am describing, and this is similar. I mean, positions of the planets which occurred at the time of Mahabharata. As Mahasi Vyas says, that the same kind of situation, this kind of situation is going to happen. So a lot of people will be killed, he says, to monarch or king. The trust king is being said by him, being warned by him that try to understand, listen, oh king, oh monarch, the trust, this is going to happen. Nobody can avoid that situation, because this kind of planetary conjunction of planetary positions is there. Okay, so what the positions I'm just talking about, that both the planets Brihaspati means Jupiter and Sunny means Saturn, both Jupiter and Saturn having approached the constellation called Vishakha. Vishakha Nakshatra is being approached or is being approached by these two planets, Jupiter and Sun of Saturn. Okay, now he says again that have become stationary, and they are stationary there for a whole year. For the whole year, these two planets are in Vishakha Nakshatra. Now here, Saturn is in Vishakha Nakshatra. See here, Saturn is in Vishakha Nakshatra. At the time of Bhopal gas tragedy, you can see, you can draw this horoscope. Cast this horoscope, taking this timetable. Time is 2nd December 1984. Time I have taken 10:10 a.m. in this case, and Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, right? If I take Bhopal as the place of this event, and then you can draw this horoscope, and this horoscope is going to give you the position of the planets and different constellations also. Because why I have taken constellations here, not degrees, etc. Why? Because constellations, regarding constellations, in Mahabharata, Vyas Rishi says to monarch Dhritarashtra, he talk about all these planetary conditions. Planets are in this constellation, in this nakshatra, and because of that, so that I can compare these, these parameters with Bhopal gas tragedy's event, right? This event, Bhopal gas tragedy, happened on 2nd December 1984, and the same kind of situations of the planet, conditions of planet, transit of the planets was also there at the time of Mahabharata, as Maharshi Vyas says. Because why I compare this, so that one can understand that this kind of event can happen at any time. Whenever this kind of situation comes, okay, we can just foretell or forecast regarding anything. We can predict about any event which is going to happen by going through the transit of the planets, position, movements of the planets, or position of the planets from the what you call timetable, or you may say that you know this. Yeah, timetable given in which longitude, latitude of the planets are given. Okay, so that is how we can discuss about it from the Panchams or from ephemeri. Okay, so from the ephemeris or that planetary conditions is given in some of the Panchams and some of the timetables or books are given here. So I have already talked about all those things. You can see the position of the planets, longitude of the planets in different constellations, different nakshatras, and there you can study that what the position of the planets, and this same kind of position whenever occurs, the bad event can happen, the killing of even the people can happen, massacre of people can happen. Okay, so this is the same parameters. Those parameters I'm just comparing. Okay, so this I have already compared. This Saturn is in Vishakha Nakshatra. He says that Saturn and Jupiter both are in Vishakha Nakshatra, Vishakha constellation, and they are stationary for whole year, because Jupiter always remains in one sign for whole year, right? 1 year. Because after that it may be direct or retrograded, and because of that it may remain, or Jupiter can remain in one nakshatra. Here he says, Maharshi Vyas says that Jupiter and Saturn both are in Vishakha Nakshatra. For the whole year they will remain there, right? For the whole year they are stationary in Vishakha Nakshatra, right? But in this case, Vishakha Nakshatra is being affected by Saturn. Saturn is in Vishakha Nakshatra at the time of Bhopal gas tragedy. See here the comparison. I talked about two comparisons. that Saturn is in Vishaka Nakshatra, okay, and Rahu is in Kritika Nakshatra. This is also talked about by Maharishi Vyas. Again he says, let me just talk about. Now he said the new moon means the moon and the sun are afflicted by Rahu. Such strange eclipses, both the lunar and solar. That means both, this is sun and moon both are afflicted by Rahu. Rahu is in Kritika Nakshatra, sun and moon are also in Kritika Nakshatra both. That means this solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, right? Chandragrahan and Suryagrahan both are occurring. These two eclipses are occurring on the same day. He says, Maharishi Vyas is talking about in Mahabharata. I am just dictating the same statements from volume number 5 of Mahabharata. Now he says, sun are afflicted by Rahu. Such strange eclipses, both the lunar and solar. Okay, forebode, he says, it forebode means it tells, it predict, or it forewarning, or is warning a great slaughter. Maharishi Vyas says that this kind of eclipses, okay, is foreboding or is forebode a great slaughter. Rahu of fierce deeds, he says again, Rahu of fierce deeds is also, O monarch, afflicting the constellation Kritika, Kritika Nakshatra or Kritika constellation is a group of stars, is being afflicted by Rahu, sun and moon, because eclipse is occurring whenever Rahu is with sun, solar eclipse occurs. Whenever Rahu is with moon, lunar eclipse occurs. So, but both are, sun and moon, both are with Rahu. That means solar eclipse and lunar eclipse both are occurring. These two eclipses are occurring together. So eclipse time is also very much dangerous for this kind of events in India. Now, so he says that this great slaughter, Rahu of fierce deeds is also, O monarch, afflicting the constellation Kritika. Kritika Nakshatra is being afflicted by Rahu. Sun and moon are also with Rahu. I have taken here moon, sun and Rahu in Kritika Nakshatra. This is Mahabharata. I have taken Mahabharata planetary positions, okay, as it described by Maharishi Vyas in Mahabharata. If you go to the whole, 12 volumes are there of Mahabharata. I have taken those, I have read all the 12 volumes of Mahabharata, which are English translation of 18th century, 19th or 1850 or 1857 centuries written books I have gone through. And from there I have noted down this statement of Maharishi Vyas, in which Maharishi Vyas talks about the positions of the planets at the time of Mahabharata war. Okay, so what is going to, he is foreboding. He says that this is forebode means foretell, is going to occur, this kind of event can happen, a massacre of, he says, a great massacre of slaughter. Okay, forebode a great slaughter. Forebode means is predicting about a massacre of great massacre or slaughter will happen, right? This kind of, he says, solar and lunar eclipse both are occurring. Kritika Nakshatra, Rahu is there, Rahu is afflicting Kritika Nakshatra. And at the time of Bhopal gas tragedy, Rahu is also in Kritika Nakshatra. Saturn is in Vishaka Nakshatra. And he also says here, Vyas Rishi says that both Jupiter and Saturn are in Vishaka Nakshatra. They are stationary there for whole year. Okay, so they are not moving here and there, but they are staying in the same nakshatra for whole year. Their conditions may be that it is becoming Saturn or Jupiter can become direct, then retrograde. It can remain for the whole year in one nakshatra. That is not a very strange thing. So this is also happening at that time. This kind of, all these comparisons we do and we find that what is a strange thing. The same kind of situation is occurring whenever these positions of the planets is coming in near future or near, present time. So whenever this kind of situation comes, the same event can happen at any time. This is how the Vedic astrology talks about all these events. Okay, whatever the past events have happened, I'm just describing, comparing, explaining all those past events which have affected the Indian people or Indian citizens or Indian public has been affected by these kind of events. So those events, the past events, I am taking one by one. I have in the fifth one I took what you call that, one of the events. What was that event? And okay, I took that destroying of Ram temple. Okay, now Ram temple is being built, or is being what you call ordered by Supreme Court that Ram temple is going to be built. Is going to be built. So there it is not a problem. The destruction of that Babri mosque, Babri disputed site by the Ram Bhaktas, that I have already discussed about. That what is the situation of the plant or position of the plant on that particular day. So you can see that in my fifth prediction. Prediction number 5, I have talked about one of the past event. The same thing, I am again taking this Bhopal gas tragedy, and on that particular day, Bhopal gas tragedy, where what were the conditions of the planets in Bhopal on that particular day, okay, or Indian scenario, or the position of the planets. So that I am talking about. Okay. Again, he says that Ketu is in andolan nakshatra, Rahu in Kritika nakshatra, Saturn Vishaka nakshatra, Venus is in Uttar Ashad nakshatra, loaded by Sun. Okay, then Jupiter is in Purva Ashad. In this case, Venus is the lord of Purva Ashad nakshatra. Third quarter, Jupiter is. Mercury is in Mool nakshatra. Mool nakshatra is loaded by Ketu. Now, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn, these are the friends of Rahu. That means other planets are inimical to Rahu. So Rahu is friendly to Saturn, Venus, and Mercury, and other planets are not good for Rahu. So that means Sun is enemy to Rahu, Moon is enemy to Rahu, Jupiter, right? Jupiter is also enemy to Rahu, Mars is enemy to Rahu. So all other planets are, all those remaining 5 planets, because 3 planets I have taken, 6 other planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, and Mercury. These are the 3 friends of Rahu, and other planets remaining like Mars, Moon, Sun, Jupiter. These 4 planets, and after that, Mars is also there. Mars I have taken, Moon I have taken, Jupiter I have taken, Sun. Okay, so these 4 planets other than Rahu, and Ketu is just opposite of Rahu. So Rahu Ketu axis we say. Ketu is friendly with these planets, but Rahu is inimical to these planets. Rahu Ketu axis. In Rahu Ketu axis, whenever Sun comes with Rahu or Ketu, then Sun is being affected by Rahu, because Rahu Ketu axis is there. So in this case also, Sun is with, at the time of Bhopal gas tragedy, Sun was with Ketu. Sun is with Ketu. Rahu is affecting Sun here. So whenever Sun affected by the Rahu Ketu axis, or in the Rahu Ketu axis, Sun comes, solar eclipse or lunar eclipse occurs. Some of the, there are other conditions also which are mostly affecting this constitution. We cannot say that whenever solar eclipse comes and solar eclipse occurs, then that kind of tragedy can occur. No, there are other conditions also. That like Saturn is in Vishaka nakshatra, Rahu is in Kritika nakshatra, Sun and Moon both were in Kritika nakshatra at the time of Mahabharata. That because of that massacre occurred, that slaughter of the people occurred. Okay, that great slaughter of the people occurred on that particular day, as Maharshi Vyas says. Now again I am taking some more, let me dictate all the same thing. Sorry. Again he said that this kind of strange situation where solar eclipse and lunar eclipse both are occurring after 13 days from full moon to new moon. This event of lunar fortnight has occurred after 13 days only, or within 13 days. After 13 days, mostly lunar fortnight comes either of 15 days or after 14 days or 16 days, 16, 15 or 14. These are the mostly occurring or occurrence of lunar fortnight, right? Or from new moon to full moon to new moon. That even it occurs mostly 15 days, 16 days or 14 days. But 13 days is the very strange situation when lunar fortnight occurs within 13 days. He says that from full moon to new moon situation has occurred within 13 days, or after 13th day, the lunar eclipse and solar eclipse is occurring after full moon. This is now new moon period. at the time of Mahabharata, Vyas Vyas says. This is how the situation is occurring. So the two similarities are here. That Saturn is in Vishaka Nakshatra, Rahu is in Kritika Nakshatra, Rahu is afflicting Sun, is also there here. Okay, so three position, Sun is afflicted by Rahu, Rahu is afflicting Kritika Nakshatra, okay, and the Saturn is in Vishaka Nakshatra, that is also occurring. This is situation, right? Again, so now in case of Indian Independence Day's horoscope, I am talking about. Now Rahu is again in the ascendant. Now ascendant is in Rohini ascendant in this case. When I have taken the time, 17:30 hours. 17:30 means 5:30 p.m. This is 5:30 p.m. If I take 5:30 p.m. in the evening time, because in the evening this event occurred. At night time on 2nd December 1984, at night time the gas leakage occurred. Okay, and the whole night, and this is the proper situation of the planets here. So what the planetary conditions on that night time or in the evening time, this is 5:30 period. I have taken 5:30 p.m. so that the ascendant is Taurus. Okay, this Taurus sign or Taurus sign. This is Risav sign or Risav Rasi, second sign in the ascendant. This is Indian independence horoscopes, Lagna or ascendant, right? That I have already described. That at the time of Indian independence, this ascendant Taurus sign or Risav Rasi was taken by Pandit Shastri, that Hardev Sharma Trivedi Shastri, and that person, that astrologer, great astrologer, he casted this horoscope. He cast this horoscope and formed this horoscope at that particular place. But and that I have not taken that horoscope in a proper manner. Only I have taken the ascendant. So in that ascendant, what the transit of the planet on that 2nd December, 1984. This is the transit of the planets in the Indian horoscope. This is how it is being described. So moon is in the same sign, Pisces sign. So I have written down here nakshatra. Ascendant here is in Rohini nakshatra, right? At 5:30 p.m. on the same day, 2nd December 1984. Because 2nd December 1984, ascendant was Rohini I have taken here. So ascendant is Rohini nakshatra. Sun is in Jyeshtha nakshatra. Jyeshtha nakshatra, now from Anuradha to Jyeshtha nakshatra, first quarter, because there in the morning time, at 10:10 a.m., Sun was in Anuradha nakshatra here. Sun, here it is Sun, Anuradha nakshatra, fourth quarter, ending, or fourth quarter means ending quarter. Anuradha nakshatra's ending quarter, Sun was there at in the morning time on 2nd December 1984. But in the evening time, Sun comes to the next nakshatra, Jyeshtha nakshatra. I have written down here, Sun is in Jyeshtha nakshatra, first quarter. Jyeshtha nakshatra is lorded by Mercury. Mercury is the lord of this nakshatra. Moon is in Uttar Bhadrapad nakshatra, third quarter. And Saturn is the lord of Uttar Bhadrapad nakshatra. Now Mars is in Shravan nakshatra. Shravan nakshatra is lorded by Moon, third quarter, in which Mars was there in Shravan nakshatra. Mercury, Mool nakshatra. Mercury is in Mool nakshatra, same. In the morning time, in the evening also, Mercury was in Mool nakshatra, right? So third quarter, Ketu here. Ketu is the lord of Mool nakshatra. Now here Venus, Mercury was in Mool nakshatra. Here it was in second quarter. In the third quarter, in the evening time, Mercury has come in the third quarter of Mool nakshatra, right? This is second quarter in the morning time. The evening time, Moon has come in the third quarter. This is the position. Mars was in Shravan nakshatra, third quarter. Mercury, Mool nakshatra, third quarter. Again, I have talked about. Jupiter was Purva Ashad nakshatra. Jupiter on that particular day was in Purva Ashad nakshatra, third quarter. And Venus is the lord of Purva Ashad nakshatra. This I have written down here. Then Venus was in Uttar Ashad nakshatra. Uttar Ashad, Purva Ashad, Uttar Ashad. Just near to each other. Means they are together, Venus and Jupiter and Mercury. But they are in two different nakshatras. Venus is in Uttar Ashad nakshatra, first quarter. And Jupiter is in Purva Ashad nakshatra, just one nakshatra before. Both are together, Venus and Jupiter, Mercury. Mercury is also there. Mercury is in, as I have told you about, Mool nakshatra. So Mercury is in Mool nakshatra, third quarter. Okay. Moola, Purva Ashad, Uttar Ashad. Tirth nakshatras are coming one after the other. This is Moola, Purvashad, Uttarashad. These three planets are together in the same sign, Sagittarius sign, and they are in three nakshatra, different nakshatra, but very close to each other. Okay, these three nakshatra, whenever Jupiter and Venus come together, this is also very strange to predict, right? Some of the astrologers, Indian astrologers or Vedic astrologers, they also predict with the help of Venus and Jupiter's position. Whenever Jupiter and Venus are together, or they are opposite to each other, whenever their situation comes closer to each other, that is also being predicted by some of the astrologers. Okay, but I take them very strange situation whenever Venus Jupiter comes together in the same nakshatra or just near to each other. Then they are this kind of event is going to occur. I mean, this is also very much a strange situation. Okay, this transit of Venus and Jupiter together, they are coming together closer to each other. This situation, okay, is also very strange. The people are very much surprised or can't take decisions at that moment. That kind of situation comes. But both are, one is enemy, other is neutral to each other. So this is not bitter enemy, but just enemy. So they are enemy to each other. This situation, whenever Jupiter and Venus come together, then also the same situation comes. I mean, this kind of event can also happen. That is also one of the foreboding situation. Okay, foreboding situation or foreboding situation. Now, so these three planets are together: Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter. So Venus, Jupiter, whenever they come together, that is also very strange situation. This kind of event can happen. The situation when a person cannot take a decision that what to do, that situation comes whenever they are coming together. On that particular day also, Bhopal gas tragedy day, people were not able to decide about that what should we do, okay, or what should be done at that moment. So that was not decided immediately, and the person who was owner of that what you call company which was running this gas plant or something, that person went away to USA, right? USA. So from that person, money was not extracted, was not taken by the Prime Minister of that time. Okay, so that was the, I mean, I'm not going to political things, but the position is this situation. This is the situation that when a person is just surprised and not able to understand that what should be done. Okay, so a strange situation comes in mental position comes because of Venus and Jupiter when they are together. So this is also one of the positions here at the time of Bhopal gas tragedy event, right? The Bhopal gas tragedy event occurred on 2nd December 1984. On that day, there was gas leakage in the plant in Bhopal, and because of that gas leakage, more than 50,000 people were killed, right? But the claim by the government, because those secrets were hidden by the government of that time, and the number was very much limited. They said that only 2,000, 3,000 to whatever people were killed, not more than this. But the various sources says, residents of that city say that about more than 50,000 people were killed. They were blinded, some were killed immediately. Okay, so this is how the situation is occurred. This is Bhopal gas tragedy. So this situation, I mean, this kind of situation can occur. Why I compared the events from the scriptures? Because the rishis have given these kind of similar situations because of the position of the planets and the transit of the planet in those days, right? Skanda Purana is full of these kind of events. Padma Purana is full of these events. Mahabharata, Ramayana. In Ramayana also a lot of things regarding planetary conditions, the conjunctions of the planets is being discussed about. I can just talk about a lot of things from the scriptures, but I am taking Mahabharata as the very great proof because Maharishi Vyas has written Mahabharata, and he is also propagator of astrology. Vedic astrology is being propagated by 18 rishis, which I have already discussed in the first or second lecture series, or maybe you can see my first or second lecture series in which I talked about that how many rishis, those 18 rishis in which Vyas is Shurya Pitamaha Vyaso Vasishto Atri Parashara, right? These rishis, I'm just talking about some of the rishis. So Vyas is among them. Surya Pitamaha Vyaso Vasishto Vyasa Rishi. Vyasa means Vyasa Rishi. So this Ved Vyasa Rishi, who has written Mahabharata, he is one of the propagators of Vedic astrology. So because of that, he is talking about a lot of things, lot of events which is going to occur, which are occurring in those days in Mahabharata's time. So he is talking about the events which occur. So the same situation, planetary conditions have occurred at the time of Bhopal gas tragedy. I am just comparing this event. I am talking about this from Mahabharata. What is the situation of the Mahabharata? Let me talk about other planets also. Now he says, Mahasi Vyas says in Mahabharata to king or monarch Dhritarashtra, he says that Pushya Nakshatra is being afflicted by one of the comet. Comet means Dhumketu, or comet which is coming. The comet is afflicting Pushya Nakshatra. Now Pushya Nakshatra comes in Cancer sign. This now Pushya Nakshatra is afflicted by a comet, C-O-M-E-T, comet. Comet is afflicting Pushya Nakshatra. Very powerful comet has afflicted Pushya Nakshatra in Mahabharata. Mahasi Vyas says. Then again he says Mars is in Magha Nakshatra. Mars is in Magha Nakshatra. Magha Nakshatra means in Cancer, in Leo sign. Mars is in Leo sign. Rahu, Sun and Moon, all three are in Kritika Nakshatra. They are, Kritika Nakshatra is being afflicted by Rahu. And the Sun and Moon are also there with the Rahu. So there is lunar eclipse and solar eclipse together with Rahu, because Rahu is afflicting the Kritika Nakshatra. And in Kritika Nakshatra, both Sun and Moon are there. So this is how solar eclipse, lunar eclipse occurring, and the event is occurring only this lunar fortnight has occurred after 13 days. On the 13th day, from full moon time to new moon period has occurred. Mahasi Vyas says, this is I've talked about, okay. Then Mercury is not talked about, Mercury is not given, but I have taken this because Mercury is just near to Sun. It may be in the previous house or the second house or near to. And Venus is given. Venus is in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, he says. Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra is in Pisces sign. So Pisces sign, Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, Venus is there. Venus is just given near the Sun. There is no doubt about this. So Venus is in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Here Venus in Uttarashadha Nakshatra, no problem. Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, Venus is there at the time of Mahabharata. Then he says, okay, Ketu is in Jyeshtha Nakshatra. Mahasi Vyas says that Ketu is in Jyeshtha Nakshatra, in Scorpio sign. Jyeshtha Nakshatra I have taken here. Saturn and Jupiter both are in Vishakha Nakshatra, in Libra sign. Okay, the Libra sign of Tula Rasi, Jupiter and Saturn both are posited there. Then Mars is in Magha Nakshatra. So all the 9 planets are described at the time of Mahabharata. Mahasi Vyas, according to Mahasi Vyas, this was the position of the planets in different constellations, different nakshatras. Okay, as he says. So what are those similar events or similar occurrence or similar transit of the planets? One is Saturn is in Vishakha Nakshatra, because Saturn and Jupiter, time of Mahabharata, but in Vishakha Nakshatra. Second is Rahu is in Kritika Nakshatra. Rahu is afflicting Sun, and Rahu is in Kritika Nakshatra. Kritika Nakshatra is being afflicted. Kritika constellation is being afflicted by Rahu. This one event has occurred. Second, he says that Moon and Sun both are, or Sun is also afflicted by Rahu. So Sun is also afflicted, was afflicted at the time of Mahabharata. And at the time of this Bhopal gas tragedy also, Sun was afflicted by Rahu. Rahu Ketu axis, Sun was there with Ketu here. And Rahu Ketu axis, Sun is there. So Sun is afflicted by Rahu. Rahu is afflicting Kritika Nakshatra also. Kritika Nakshatra is lorded by Sun. So this is how this event is occurring, right? So he says that this kind of event very rarely occurs, that after 13 days the new moon period has occurred. Okay, 13th day, lunar eclipse or solar eclipse has occurred. Rahu is Kritika Nakshatra, Rahu and the Sun and Moon, all the 3 are in Kritika Nakshatras. Okay, that is how Mahasi Vyas has described in Mahabharata. The same situation, same similarity of the positions of the planets has occurred at the time of gas tragedy at Bhopal in 1984 on 2nd December. So this is the December, 2020. So because of this, because on 2nd December this year, in the beginning of this week, right, this kind of things were talking about, okay, talked about. So because of that, I have taken this event gas tragedy on 2nd December 1984. Okay, because I was just impressed by this.